Welcome to online study on Transfer of Property Act. Let us discuss the provisions of section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act regarding lease. Everybody, even a layman, knows the lease, but he doesn't know the ingredients. What is lease? When you think of lease, you should think the house rent. Once a house is given or rent, always that is lease. In case of lease, a very limited right is transferred. The ownership is with the lessor, and the lessee only a right to enjoy that property is transferred for certain period on payment of rent, either periodically or in lump sum. So, how lease has been defined in section 105? What it speaks? Lease is always also a movable property. Lease defined. A lease of immovable property is a transfer of a right to enjoy such property. What is that right? Only a right, a transfer of a right. What is that right? One right, only to enjoy that property. Lease is always of a immovable property. Lease of immovable property is transfer of a right to enjoy such property made for certain time. That enjoyment of such property must be for a particular period, certain time, either express or implied. That period that is express or implied, expressly it has been mentioned that for 3 years, 2 years, that is expressed. Implied, suppose house rent is given. There is no, impliedly it is a monthly lease, a month. So express or implied. Lease of immovable property is a transfer of a right to enjoy such property for a certain period, for a certain time, either express or impliedly, or in perpetuity. Suppose perpetuity, that is perpetual lease, we think that the lease that is for 99 years, that is in perpetuity. But lease is a contract, so there must be a consideration. In consideration of a price paid or promised. And the consideration is whether immediately price is paid. Here what price is there? Not price paid or promised. Or of money. Either price paid or either price promised or a money or a share of crop. Money, share of crop, service or any other thing of value to be rendered periodically. Either in a lump sum price is paid or promised to be paid, or money or share of crop, of service or any other thing of value to be rendered periodically or on a specified occasion. Only on a particular occasion somebody will render a service or pay a particular thing of particular value. By whom? To the transferor or by the transferee. Transferee will pay. That is to be paid by the transferee to the transferor. And who accepts the transfer on such terms. Accepted, that is a bi-party agreement, bi-party contract. What is that? Lease of immovable property is a transfer of a right to enjoy such property for certain time, either expressly that time is mentioned or impliedly that time, or in perpetuity, in consideration. In perpetuity, the consideration of price paid or promised to be paid or money or share of crops or service or anything of value which will be paid periodically or on a certain occasion or a specified occasion. By whom? To the transferor, by the transferee. that is to be paid to the transferor by the transferee, and the transferor must have accepted that condition, must have accepted the transfer on such terms. The terms must have been accepted by the transferor. Then that will be lease. So we should always, lease is always of immovable property. When you use lease, there cannot be lease of a truck. There cannot be lease of a movable property. That must be on either hiring, etc. That what may be there. But lease is used in transfer of property. Lease of immovable property, the transfer of a right. By whom? By the transferor to the transferee. What for? To enjoy that such property for a particular, for certain time, either that has been mentioned, the time that is expressly mentioned or impliedly, the time is there, or in perpetuity, in consideration. What is the consideration? Price paid, or promise to be paid, or any money, share of crops, or service, or anything of value which is to be paid periodically. Periodically means what? Either monthly or annually, periodically, or on a specified occasion, service to be rendered. That is, suppose a particular land was given on lease with a condition by a temple, that on a condition that a particular person will do a particular service, a certain type of service, that is to suppose render a particular service or a certain service in the temple on a particular or Dola Jatra, or a potter man, suppose a lease has been given to a potter man that he will supply this earthen pot on a particular occasion. So here, that is to be render a service on a particular occasion. And by whom? By the that is to be paid by the transferee to the transferor. And transferor must have accepted the terms and conditions of this. Then only it will be lease. So you should know the definition of lease by going through the language of the section. Then lessor, lessee, premium, and rent defined. Lessor, the transferor is called lessor, the transferee is called lessee. Premium, the money paid in a lump sum, the price paid in lump sum, that is called premium. The periodical payment is to be called rent. These four words are given. Lessor, transferor is called lessor, transferee is called lessee. The money which is paid in a lump sum, as a price, that is called premium. That will not be treated as rent. If suppose a person took a house on lease on paying a lump sum of 50,000, which will not be returned, and the monthly rent of 5,000. So that 50,000 will be treated as premium. So that is premium, and periodical payment is defined as rent. Now see, the transferor is called the lessor, the transferee is called the lessee, the price is called the premium. Price paid, price promised, that is called premium, and the money, share or service or other thing to be rendered periodically, that is to be called rent. So section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act defines lease, or it also defines lessor, lessee, premium, that or rent. So you should have, by now you must have understood what is lease. Lease is defined in section 105. Lease of immovable property is transfer of a right. I am giving importance a right. Only a limited right is transferred by the transfer to the transferee to enjoy that property for certain time. Say for 1 year, 2 more monthly, or other in perpetuity. Perpetuity is for time to go, that is, it is normally 99 years, we think perpetuity. Perpetuity is not defined for all time to come, for certain period. But in consideration of price paid or promise. But if the consideration is price paid or promise, that is called premium. Or if a periodical rent is to be paid, or money is to be paid periodically, some service to be rendered periodically, or a share of crops is to be paid periodically, that is called rent. And the transferor must have accepted the terms and conditions of the lease. The lessor lessee premium and rent have been also defined in section 105 of the transfer. Yeah. Now section 106 says duration of certain leases in absence of written contract or local usage. If the contract of lease is a bi-party agreement, bi-party contract. So if the period of the lease, duration of the lease is not mentioned in the contract or is not expressly mentioned in the contract of lease, in certain cases, in some cases, the duration of lease is fixed by the law as per section 106. What it says? In the absence of a contract or local law or usage, three things to the contrary. If there is a contract to the contrary, then section 106 may not be applicable. Or local usage or local law contrary. A lease of immovable property for agricultural or manufacturing purpose shall be deemed to a lease from year to year. So, unless if there is no express stipulation, express condition in the contract of lease, or there is no local usage or local law to the contrary, then in such case, if the lease is for agricultural purpose or for manufacturing purpose, then the duration of lease is from year to year and terminable on the part of either lessor or lessee. It is the period of lease to be treated as from year to year, and that lease can be terminable, can be terminated by either party, either by the lessor or lessee, by 6 months' notice. That lease can be terminated either by lessor or lessee by giving 6 months' notice. With the end of a year of the tenancy, 6 months' notice must be within year of the tenancy. And a lease of immovable property for any other purpose other than agricultural purpose or manufacturing purpose, a lease of immovable property for any other purpose shall be deemed to be a lease from month to month. So when a house is leased out without mentioning the time, so that lease is deemed to be a lease from month to month and terminable by giving 15 days notice, expiring with the end of the month of the tenancy. This provision is there. So what is the duration of lease? In absence of a contract to the contract. If there is no contract defeating the provision or outside the provisions or any other condition, then that will prevail. If there is no contract to the contrary or there is no local law or local usage to the contrary, then and in such case, the lease for agriculture purpose or manufacturing purpose, the duration of lease is from year to year, which is terminable by giving 6 months notice by the end of the what? Year of the tenancy, which is terminable by the end of the year of the tenancy. But for all other lease, the lease will be the period of lease will be from month to month, which can be terminable by notice by either party, which can be terminable by either party, then expiring within end of month of the tenancy. So by giving notice. So every notice under this section, so that can be terminable. Who can terminate the lease? That will terminate means that the lease will come to an end. Who are either lessor or lessee? If it is agricultural purpose lease, that can be terminable by giving 6 months notice, by the which expiring the lease within the end of the year of the tenancy, and is a monthly lease by giving 15 days notice, terminable by the end of the month. So every notice, so this notice under section 106 to terminate the lease must be in writing. That lease notice, that is notice to terminate the lease as per section 106 of the transfer program must be in writing, signed by or on behalf of the person giving it, the person who gives it. If the lessor gives, lessor will sign, or the lessee gives, lessee will sign, or by any person or his advocate on behalf of him, signed by on behalf of the lessor giving, either be sent by post. That notice may be sent either by sent by post to the party who is intended to be bound by it. So that notice is to be sent either by post or be tendered or delivered personally to such party, or that be tendered or delivered that notice personally to the party, or to one of his family or servants. So that notice may be served one of the family member or servant at his residence, or if such tender or delivery is not practicable, affixed to a conspicuous part of the property. So how that notice is to be served? That notice for termination of the lease must be in writing, signed by the person who gives the notice, either personally or he or on somebody on his behalf, and that is to be served. How? By notice. That notice is to be served either by post to the concerned person or such party, or to one of his family, or the tendered or delivered, or tendering the notice or delivering the notice either to that particular person, party, or to any of his family member, or to his servant at his residence. If in this manner, that is, it is not possible to deliver the notice either to the party personally or to his family member, to any of his family member or to his servant, then by affixing a copy of the notice at the conspicuous part of the house or the property. So this is that is section 106. That is duration of lease, how a lease is to be terminated. Who can terminate the lease? Either lessor or lessee can terminate the lease. If there is no contract to the contrary, then only that can be terminable by the party by giving, in case of annual lease, by giving 6 months notice, then in case of monthly lease by giving 15 months, which will come to this termination will come at the end of the month. At the end of the month. Now, let us see the provisions of section 107. What 107 of this Transfer of Property Act provides that lease how made. Section 107 provides how a lease is to be made. You know, suppose a sale how made, sale of 100 rupees, below 100 rupees, that may be delivered possession 100 rupees more, it's compulsory store. Similarly, lease how made. Section 107 provides a lease of immovable property from year to year or for any term exceeding 1 year or reserving a yearly rent can be made only by a registered instrument. Only by a registered. Can there be a lease of a house for 3 years through an unregistered document? The answer is no. Because how a lease is to be made? Lease from year to year, reserving yearly rate, and term exceeding 1 year or reserving year. Property from year to year, either annual lease or exceeding year, 2 year, 3 year, exceeding year, any term exceeding 1 year, or reserving yearly rent. Suppose for 1 month, 1 year rent is paid, reserving yearly rent. Those leases can be made only by registered instrument. So if such a registered instrument is not there, then that lease is not valid. Suppose a house has been leased out for 3 years by an unregistered document. Then that lease is not valid for 3 years. So that is to be treated as monthly lease. So because this 107 provides lease of immovable property from year to year or a term exceeding 1 year or reserving annual rent can only be made by a registered instrument. So this is section 107. Now, section 108 provide the rights and liabilities of the lessor and lessee. We know that in case of lease, only a right is transferred to the transferee, but to enjoy that property for certain period, either by paying price, which is to be in lump sum, that is called premium, or making paying rent periodically, that is called rent. So here, in the section 108 says, rights and liabilities of the lessor and lessee. In the absence of a contract or local usage to the contrary, similar words are there. In absence of a contract or local usage to the contrary, the lessor and the lessee, the person who transfers the right to enjoy that property is called lessor. To whom the right is transferred is called lessee. So in the absence of a contract to the contrary or local usage to the contrary, the lessor and the lessee of the immutable property as against one another, lessor and the lessor as against one another, respectively, possess the rights and are subject to the liabilities mentioned in the rules next following, or such of them as are applicable to the property list. Section 108, what speaks about the rights and liabilities of the lessor and the lessee. What are the rights of the lessor? Similarly, we have discussed what are the rights of the seller and buyer, what are the liabilities of the seller and buyer. There. So section 108 also speaks. It provides A, rights and liabilities of the lessor. What it says? A, the lessor is bound to disclose to the lessee any material defect in the property with reference to the intended use, for the purpose of only for enjoyment. So with any material defect in the property with reference to intended use, if there is any defect, then the lessor is bound to disclose that defect, of which the former is and the latter is not aware, and with the latter could not with ordinary care discover. Latter means the lessee. Suppose the lessor is bound to disclose if any material defect. Suppose a house has been leased out. There is a material defect, there is a crack in a wall, or there is some defect in that house, which the lessor is aware, but the lessee is not aware, or the lessee cannot with ordinary care, or the lessor would not have aware it. So in such case, the lessor is bound to disclose any material defect in the property leased, which is a defect regarding enjoyment of that property, to the lessee if he is aware, and the lessee is not aware. Second, the lessor is bound on the lessee's request to put him in possession of the property. As you know, a lease is always made for enjoyment of property by the lessee. So in such case, the lessor is bound to put the lessee in possession of the property leased. Third, the lessor shall be deemed to contract with the lessee. There is a deemed contract that if the latter pays the rent reserved by the lessee lease and perform the contracts binding on the lessee, he may hold the property during the time limited by the lease without interest. Always, lease is for a particular period, particular time, or in perpetuity. There is a deemed contract between the lessor and the lessee that so long the lessee is paying the rent, he will enjoy the property for the entire period as mentioned in the lease, contract of lease. So, as agreed between them. So here the lessor shall be deemed to contract with the lessee. There is a contract, deemed contract between the lessor and the lessee. That what? If the lessor pays the rent reserved by the lease, if he pays the rent and performs the contract, and he performs his part of the contract, then binding on the lessee, he may hold it, the lessee will hold such property during the time limited by the lease without interruption. Then the benefits of such contract shall be annexed to and go with the lessee's interest as such, and may be enforced by every person in whom that interest is for the whole or any part of thereof time to time vested. So this benefit of the contract, deemed contract. What is that deemed benefit of the contract? What is that deemed contract? That if the lessee pays the rent regularly and there is no other fault on the part of the lessee, then he has a right to enjoy that property without any interruption for the entire period of the lease. This benefit of the contract will go with the property. If that property comes to the hand of any successor, any other legal heir, and during the particular period of lease, then they can also enforce. They are also entitled to such right. If they are so long they are paying the rent regularly, and they have not committed any act contrary. Alluvion means that deposit of soil when a particular land is situated by the side of a river. So if an accession is made to the land which has been leased out, then it is to be that there is in continuance of the lease, any accession is made to the property. Such accession, subject to the law relative to alluvion for the time being, subject to the law relative to alluvion. Suppose any state law is there, if an alluvion takes place, that will be state property. That is subject to that law. Then it shall be deemed to comprise in the lease. So the lessee is also entitled to enjoy that property. If by fire, tempest, or flood, or violence of any army, or of a mob, or other irresistible force, any material part of the property be wholly destroyed. Suppose by fire, or flood, or violence, or any other natural calamity, the property is destroyed, or part is destroyed, or rendered substantially and permanently unfit for the purpose for which it was laid, the lease shall, at the option of the lessee, be void. Suppose the house has been leased out. Tomorrow there will be a cyclone. And the cyclone destroy the house. And that due to such destruction, that house is not in a condition to be in occupation. So in such case, at the option of the lessee, that lease may be declared or be treated as void. Lease may be void. Provided that if the inquiry be occasioned by the wrongful act or default of the lessee, he shall be entitled to avail himself of the benefit of this provision. Suppose if the injury be occasioned by the wrongful act of the default of the lessee, he shall not be entitled to avail himself of the benefit of this provision. Now, if the lessor neglects to make, suppose this, if the lessor neglects to make within a reasonable time after notice any repair which is bound to make to the property, the lessee may make the same. Suppose a house is leased out and there is some repair is required for the house, and the lessee gives a notice to the lessor to make such repair. If he does not make, he may make such repair himself and deduct the expense of such repairs with interest from the rent. The lessee can deduct the expense of such repair from the rent or otherwise recover it from the lessor. If the lessor neglects to make any payment which is bound to make and which if not made to himself is recoverable from the lessee, suppose the lessor is bound to pay some rent etc. to the government and he makes default of it, and in his absence if he is due to his default in payment, that is to be recovered from the lessee, then recoverable, then the lessee may make such payment himself and deduct it with therefrom the rent. The lessee may make such payment and deduct or otherwise recover it from the lessor. The lessee may, even after the determination of the lease, suppose the lease is determined means the lease period is over, lease comes to an end, the lessee may, even after the determination of the lease, remove at any time whilst he is in possession of the property leased, but not afterwards. If after determination of the lease, if the lessee is in occupation or in possession of the leased property, then he has a right to remove all things which he has attached to the earth, provided he leaves the property in the state in which he received it. Suppose somebody had taken lease of a house. He had made some, that he had constructed that is a garage room for keeping of his car. Suppose the lease terminates. Lease comes to an end. While in occupation, even after determination of the lease, the lessee is entitled to remove such of this temporary construction, etc., made by him from the leased property. Then, when a lease of uncertain duration determines by any means, except the fault of the lessee, suppose uncertain duration is determined, he or his legal representative is entitled to all the crops. Then, in such case, the lessee is entitled to all the crops planted or sown by the lessee and growing upon the property when the lease determines, and to free ingress and egress to gather and carry them. That comes to an. Then the lessee may transfer absolutely or by way of mortgage or sublease the whole or any part of his interest in the property, and any transferee of such interest or part may again transfer it. So there is a sublease. This provision provides J. What it says? The lessee may transfer absolutely or any way of mortgage or sublease the whole or any part of his interest. That is not, ownership is not transferred, because lease is only a right has been transferred. So he can also transfer that is right. He can sublease it. For example, if suppose in CDA, there is all the land are on lease. So he can make sublease. He can transfer that. So this lessee may transfer absolutely or by way of mortgage or sublease the whole or any part of his interest in the property. And any transferee of such interest or part may again transfer. The transferee can also again transfer it. The lessee shall not, by reason only of such transfer, cease to be subject to any of the liabilities attaching to the lease. So, nothing in this clause shall be deemed to authorize a tenant having an untransferable right occupancy. The farmer, suppose there are certain lease where there is a condition that there cannot be a transfer, or when a government makes a lease. Suppose a land is given on lease to the landless person. There is a condition. Condition is put by the government that cannot be transferred. So when such a condition is imposed by the government, so that cannot be transferred. So what it says? Nothing in this clause shall be deemed to authorize a tenant having an untransferable right of occupancy. If a tenant, there is a particular mention, it is on transferable right of occupancy, or the farmer of an estate in respect of which default has been made in paying revenue, or the lessee of an estate upon the management of the courtyard to assign his interest as such tenant farmers. These three categories of persons. What is farmers of a, in who is default in payment of rent, or any lessee of an estate under the management of Court of Wards Act or Court of Wards, or similarly when there is a untransferable right of occupancy in respect of release, then they can transfer. This is restriction. The lessee is bound to disclose. Now, now it is lessee's liability. The lessee is bound to disclose to the lessor any fact as to the nature or extent of the interest which the lessee is about to take, of which the lessee is and the lessor is not aware. Similarly, suppose the lessee is aware some fact, but the lessor is not aware of it. So in such case, the lessee is bound to disclose. What it says? The lessee is bound to disclose to the lessor any fact as to the nature or extent of the interest which the lessee is about to take up, which, suppose lessee knows that there is a particular benefit to that. Suppose there is a gold mine, etc. Or suppose the lessee is aware some benefit which will take. He is bound to disclose something to the lessor. And the lessor is, but the lessor is not aware, he must inform it. And which the materially increases the value of such. Suppose there is a coal mine in a particular land. The lessee is aware of it, but the lessor is not aware. But the lessee, that property is given to be entered, and the lessee has been authorized to dig earth and to take it. So the lessor is bound to disclose such things to the lessor. The lessor is bound to pay or tender at the proper time and place the premium or rent to the lessor or his agent. Similarly, it is the liability of the lessee to pay the rent regularly and pay the premium or rent to the lessor or his agent. The lessee is bound to keep, and on the termination of the lease, to restore the property in as good condition. When immovable property is given on lease for only to enjoyment, so the lessee is bound to keep that property in good condition, the house is good condition as it was at the time when he was put in possession, subject only to the changes caused by reasonable wear and tear. What is reasonable wear and tear? Suppose a house has been leased out. So there is, due to lapse of time, there may be some damage. This natural damage. But if lessee intentionally makes a damage, then he is liable for that. So that's why the provision is there. The lessee is bound to keep, and on the termination, keep that property leased out in the good condition. In the good condition, when in the same condition when it was given at the time of lease, but subject to any changes caused by reasonable wear and tear or irresistible force, and to allow the lessor and his agent at all reasonable time during the time to enter upon the property. The lessee is also bound to allow the lessor all reasonable time to enter into the property. Suppose the house owner wants to see what is the condition of his house. The lessee is bound to allow the house owner, that the lessor, to enter into the house or to inspect his house and give or leave notice of any defect in such condition. And when such defect has been caused by an act or default of the lessee, suppose that any damage, any defect is caused due to act of the lessee, then his servants or agents, either lessee or his servants, then he is bound to make it good within 3 months after such notice has been given or left. If the lessor gives you, suppose that damage has been caused, the lessor can give the notice to the lessee asking him to please pay damages for it. If the lessee becomes aware of any proceeding to recover the property or any part thereof or any encroachment made up, suppose the lessee is aware that somebody has encroached a particular property, or a proceeding has been filed in respect of that property, or somebody is interfering with the lessor's right concerning such property, he is bound to give with reasonable diligence notice thereof to the lessor. He is bound to inform such fact to the lessor. Then the lessee may use the property and its products as a person of ordinary prudence. Ordinary prudence means what? A man, ordinary man, was some this manageable intelligence. Ordinary prudence. Everybody, a person, law doesn't want that everybody must be extra prudent or extra intelligent. As an ordinary man, what care is to be taken in respect of that property? Similar care is to be taken. The lessee may use the property and its products, if any, as a person of ordinary prudence, would use them if they are his own, as if that property belong to that lessee. In what manner he would have used that property? Then the lessee is bound to enjoy that property in that manner. But he must not use or permit another to use the property for a purpose other than for which it was used. First restriction is there. The lessee cannot use the property other than the purpose for which it has been leased out. Suppose a particular house has been leased out for residential purpose. The lessee cannot convert into a shop room. So because it has been leased, he cannot use that property for the other than the purpose for which it has been leased out, or fail. Similarly, other than for which it has been, or fail or sell timber, pull down or damage building. Suppose they land in the leased property there is trees. He cannot fail or timber or sell timber or pull down or damage building belonging to the lessor, or work mines or quarries not open. If there is not open mine or quarry, he cannot open. When the lease was granted, or commit any other act which is destructive or permanently injurious. So what is the liability? That the lessee must use the property thinking that as if his own property, but he is also not authorized to sell or fell any timber or damage the building or make any mining of the leased property. He must not, without the lessor's consent, erect on property any permanent structure. When a house has been leased out, can the lessee can erect a permanent structure? But if the lessor is giving consent, he can do so. But he must not, without the consent, lessor's consent, erect on the property any permanent structure except for agricultural purpose. For agricultural purpose, he may make some permanent structure. On the determination of the lease, the lessee is bound to put the lessor into possession of the property. This is another liability. When a lease comes to an end, then the lessee is bound to put the lessor in possession of the leased property. There is a detailed list. You should remember all these things. Nothing to be understood. Those provisions are very simple. You can understand it. In the next class, we will discuss how a lease is determined. How a lease is determined. That is as provided in section this 111, and what will be when the lease will commence, exclusion of day on which terms commences. Thank you all.